All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to ROI Live in 5 with the famous Kayla Slice. Kayla is one of my favorite people to talk to. She is just an amazing consultant for us and has transformed so many businesses across the country and in Canada. So welcome, Kayla. We
Kayla.
so the really cool thing about Kayla is this week, well, it was last week. We had her on one of our morning sessions with our hiring consultants, and there were a few people that were stuck with clients on some things that were going on. And Kayla had amazing language to provide to them that literally got them unstuck with clients. And I was like, you know what? We need to talk about that on ROI Live in 5 because I think it really can help people. And so, without me going into details here, Kayla, talk to us about, what this language pattern is.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys, there will be a form that you can download for this. This one will be really important to get the form. So very important. And I'll just say too, Kayla would love to, help consult and coach
Yeah.
around this with anybody that wants further information about it. Okay. So go ahead, Kayla. Talk to us about,
Yeah.
when you use this, what is this language pattern?
Yes. So we have heard of, if you're in the business world and you're definitely in sales, you've heard about scripting a fair amount. But my particular love is within language patterns, and language patterns is following a pattern of language ta-da, that helps the person you're working with continue on the path that they've chosen, and help them remove obstacles. So you're kind of simplifying down reality to help them take action. So,
Mhm.
and that's important to me. So, scripting and language patterns and those kind of things can be used as manipulation, but I think language patterns are not. Like they're really working someone through something. So this language pattern has 3 words, and it's feel, felt, found. Okay. Feel, felt, found. Your first one is going to be in second person. I'm going to get you back into your English language. And the second two are in third person. And I'm going to give you an example. So feel, I understand that you feel that way, or it makes sense that you feel that way. So I'm talking about you and your feelings.
Yeah.
Felt is now I go third person. Other people have felt that way. So you're kind of telling that person you're not alone in your feelings. Other people have had that shared experience. And those first two bullets kind of say, I hear you, I see you, and you're not crazy, right? Like, because sometimes that's how we feel when we're stuck, is like, it just must be me. Like, something's wrong with me. No, I see that. I understand how you feel that way. Other people have felt that way. And then the third one, and this is really important, it's third party. What those other people have found is that, and with that one, you take the person to the next logical step, which is typically when we're stuck, we're not following the pattern we've been given to follow. And so
Yes.
we bring them back to the pattern on that third one. But it's very important that it's not your advice. So it's not saying, I hear you feel that way. I felt that way and what I did. No, no, no. It has to be third party because you can't argue with someone who's not in the conversation. And that's really important.
Yes.
It's very, very important. So if we're giving an example of, Lynn's give an example, any business.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just go out of business really quickly. So let's use like my health journey.
Okay.
And recently I was submitting information to my health coach,
Okay.
and what I thought I was doing was right, and it was, well, actually I need you to do it this way. And I was like, well, where was that? Like, where did you tell me that? Now I got to change it or whatever. So let's use a
Sure.
situation like that
Sure.
where you've got somebody who thinks they're following the instructions that were
Yeah.
provided, but now there's new ones and there's
Yeah.
something happening with the communication.
Sure. And I don't know the specifics, so I'm going to make up things in the middle.
Sure.
So I could say, hey, Lindsay, I understand that you feel overwhelmed and frustrated that this isn't going the way that you planned. You know what? Josie felt that way too, and she was a little bit lost in the process and just desperate to move forward. And what she found was that if you use our portal, it actually walks you through step by step and removes questions. And she was so sure about what to do next that it removed all that frustration for her.
Yeah.
So
So good.
you feel, she felt, she found.
Yeah, because right, because then again, it's hey, somebody else, and that person's not in
Yeah.
there, and you're so right. So
And collect like real experiences. So like these don't have to, I mean, obviously I don't know who Josie is and I don't know if this person has a portal,
yeah,
but you're in your own business, they don't have to be contrived.
yes,
So
yes,
think about the main ish. People behave in patterns. Whatever you're going to use this on, you've talked to someone about before. And so
yes,
document those. So you can say, I can say, Lindsay said this,
yes,
Lindsay felt this way and what
yeah,
Lindsay found. And it's when we're like working in reality and telling the truth, it's so easy. It's so easy to
yes.
move forward.
It is. Well, and it's funny, the reason why I even chose that, right, is you were reminding me, I literally was sending messages that were like, I feel so dumb. I don't
Yeah.
know how I
Yeah.
missed this. Like, where was that? Are there instructions I'm missing? What else am I missing?
Yeah.
Though that was the language pattern that was starting to happen with me because it was like, wait, I thought I was doing this right. How am I not
Right.
doing it right? Where is that? You give me the thing so I do it right, right? Because most of us want to follow the directions or follow the instructions or feel like we know what we're doing. So like real estate's perfect that way. Like a lot of times people feel like they have no idea what's going on. And
Yeah.
behind the scenes, real estate people are doing a ton,
Yeah.
but they
Well,
don't
and
always stop and communicate it, right?
how it had felt to you,
Yeah.
me as your health person for this
Yeah.
moment. If I came back and was like, Lindsay, it's on the portal. Okay, so that would have been like defense mechanism
Yes.
up for you because
Yep.
you felt dumb and then I attacked you. But if I
Yep.
said, "Oh, Linz, I understand that you feel overwhelmed and a little bit lost. This is a lot and a big undertaking, and so has felt that way before too." Like that is a
Yep.
totally different empathetic step that
Yep.
took less than a minute. This isn't a long, you
Mm-mm.
know, process.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, oh, they went on the portal. I forgot about the portal, or who knows, whatever it is. But like, oh, it's on that sheet. Gosh, I'm just so lost in these sheets, and maybe this person needs some system help. But
Yeah.
if you, when you just tell, and that's why it can't be, we sent you the portal info, we emailed that to you. Did you not see the checklist? Like all of those do not produce
Right.
you like a desire in you to move forward. Like
Yeah.
the critic, like, so when you were saying, I feel dumb, I don't know what I'm doing, what you end up doing is you just said, like, what else am I missing? The next step after that is they don't tell me what I need to know,
Right.
and I'm out.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah,
Right. And it's a funny thing. And that's why, it just struck me as now obviously they've done a good job of like maneuvering with me.
I'm sure
But
they're great.
like,
I don't even know who this
but
is, but
but it's funny, it just struck me because I was using language patterns that normally I don't even use, right?
right,
Like I don't normally go into that place. So I know if I do that, then other people do that in situations too.
sure,
So let's ask this. So obviously ROI live in five. So ROI wise,
yeah,
like I mean, it is way more profitable and way better to keep a client than to
yeah,
go get a new one, right? We already know that.
yeah.
So what numbers are we looking at there, Kayla?
Yeah, and obviously the ROI will depend on the business model that you're
Yeah,
running, right?
yeah,
So are you in insurance and you have, recurring revenue from a client?
yeah,
So, but what we looked up is, or found is that retaining that client could be a 500 to 1500% more ROI
yes,
than acquisition because they will buy again. No matter your business, the person, unless it's a casket, I guess, I don't know, the person will buy again, right? Like for most of our sales. And even they might get it for their family and friends. I don't know.
yeah.
But
Funny.
people do buy again, and they buy with people they know, like, and trust. And who do you trust more than the person that helped you like affirmed you and helped you navigate when you were stuck?
Yes.
Like, you turn to the person every time who gets you unstuck.
That's right. Yeah. And right, like Kayla and I were looking up some more things, and like existing clients are 3 times to 10 times more
Yeah.
profitable. They're 60 to 70% more likely to buy again.
Yeah.
Increased retention is just 5%, can boost profits by that much. So like, sometimes you're looking at like a new client is like 100 to 300%, for ROI,
Yep.
whereas the existing one can even be 1,000 to 2,000. Like that's crazy.
Well, and
So
what's that effort on getting a new client? Is it less than
so
1 minute's worth of work?
yeah, nope.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So guys, this language pattern, I mean, listen, like I said, I mean, when she said it, like our whole team was like, whoa. And it's so funny because in like language of sales and learning that stuff, like
Yeah,
I think a lot of us that have been in sales businesses like have learned that. But this one's so easy to remember. And like if you
yeah,
practice it, it just changes everything. And I've even used it with my family recently.
yeah,
Be like, hey, like, and so I think, at the end of the day, it's a good one to memorize. It's a good one to
yeah,
have in your tool belt, and the ROI is actually crazy high. So
yeah.
awesome.
It's true.
Anything else you want to say about it, Kayla, and leave them with before we say bye?
No, I think just practice.
Yeah.
Don't forget with any of these language patterns, when you need to be the expert in the room, you need to be practiced entering into it.
Yeah.
Just run a few scenarios and say it out loud so you don't get like the yips in your mouth. Like,
Yep.
get the words out so you have some practice. And please remember, like, second person, third person, third person.
Yeah.
Sorry if you're like not recently having done English, but it's really important. So,
Yeah. Super important for sure. All right. Second person, third person, third person.
yep.
You guys can get the document below. Linda will post it for us. And thanks so much, Kayla.
Thank you.
She has some spots here and there, not right now, but if you want to work with Kayla, you let us know. Bye.
Bye.
All right.